You do it without thinking. You walk into a dark room, reach for the switch, and in the half second before the light comes on, your body braces. Your eyes widen, your ears stretch into the black. Somewhere underneath all your logic, a very old part of your brain has already decided that something is in here with you. It isn't. You know it isn't. You're a grown adult standing in your own hallway, and there is nothing in that dark but furniture and a pile of laundry you've been ignoring. And yet the feeling is real, and it's instant, and almost every human on Earth has some version of it. So where does it actually come from? Why are we, the smartest, deadliest species this planet has ever produced, still afraid of the dark? Start with your body. You are a daytime animal. Your eyes are built for a bright world, packed with cones for color and fine detail, and nearly useless once the sun goes down. In true darkness you are, for all practical purposes, blind, moving by memory, guessing at the shapes of things. Now think about who isn't blind out there. The animals that hunt, big cats, hyenas, snakes, move through the night like it's a dim afternoon. They can hear your heartbeat. They can smell you breathing. For most of our history, when the sun dropped, the world quietly stopped belonging to us and started belonging to them. And they knew it. And it isn't just your eyes that let you down. Look at the rest of you. No claws, no real fangs. You can't outrun much of anything that wants to eat you. You can't climb fast enough to escape a leopard. And your soft, slow, upright body stands out on an open landscape like a signpost. In the daylight, we had one advantage that made up for all of it. We could spot a threat from far off and think our way around it. At night, that one advantage switched off, and we became exactly what we look like from the outside. Soft, slow, and blind. We know this because they left the receipts. In a cave system called Swartkrans, in South Africa, in a layer of rock nearly 2 million years old, researchers found the skull of a young human ancestor, and punched into the back of that skull were two neat, round holes. When the paleontologist C.K. Brain measured the distance between them, they matched something precisely: the lower canine teeth of a leopard. A leopard had killed this child, carried the body up into a tree the way leopards still do today, and fed above the cave, letting the bones fall into the dark below. And here's the unsettling part. That skull is not a rare accident. It's a snapshot of the normal order of things. We weren't the top of the food chain, we were on the menu. And it wasn't only the ground you had to watch, it was the sky. One of the most famous fossils ever found is the Taung Child, a small ancestor who died around 3 million years ago. For decades, nobody knew how. Then researchers looked closely at the damage, the gouges around the eye sockets, the punctures in the bone, and compared it to what modern eagles do to monkeys. It matched. A giant bird of prey had taken the Taung Child from above, the same way an eagle snatches a small animal off the ground today. Sit with that for a second. Danger didn't come from one direction. It came from the grass, from the trees, and from the open air over your head. There was no safe direction to look. So here's the part that flips everything around. You are not actually afraid of the dark. Darkness is just the absence of light. It can't touch you. What you're afraid of is what the dark used to hide, and that fear was earned. Every ancestor who took the night lightly, who wandered off alone, who slept out in the open without a second thought, a lot of them simply didn't come back. They were eaten before they could pass anything on. The ones who survived were the nervous ones. The ones whose hearts slammed at a snapping twig. The ones who felt watched and trusted that feeling and moved closer to the fire. Their fear kept them alive long enough to have children, and they handed it down, generation after generation, all the way to you, standing in your hallway, bracing at nothing. That fear isn't a glitch in your mind. It's one of the oldest tools your mind owns. And you can see how deep it runs in the youngest of us. No parent teaches a child to be afraid of the dark. Nobody sits a toddler down and explains about leopards and eagles. The fear just arrives on its own, right on schedule, in children all over the world who have never been near a predator in their lives. That's not a fear that gets learned. That's a fear that comes pre-installed. Sitting there, waiting, handed down from a time when a dark room really could be the last mistake you ever made. And our ancestors didn't just feel it. They organized around it. When researchers studied the Hadza, a group of hunter-gatherers in Tanzania who still sleep much the way people did for tens of thousands of years, they noticed something remarkable. Across a whole camp, on almost any given night, there was nearly always at least one person awake. Not standing guard on purpose, not on any schedule. People just drifted off and surfaced at different times, the old sleeping lightly beside the young, so the group was never fully unconscious all at once. Scientists call it the sentinel hypothesis. For hundreds of thousands of years, human sleep itself was a security system, quietly making sure that somewhere in the dark, someone's eyes were always open. And then, eventually, we found the one thing that pushed back: fire. But look at what fire actually did. It didn't conquer the night. It bought a small circle of it. Inside that ring of light, you could see each other's faces. Cook, rest, and let your guard down an inch. When researchers studied the Juhuansi people of the Kalahari, they found that daytime talk was mostly practical. Plans, work, arguments, but once the fire was lit, the conversation changed. It turned into stories, myths, wondering about the world. Firelight didn't just hold predators back. It gave us the first safe place to simply be human after dark. But it was a small place, and just past its edge the dark was still the dark, and everyone sitting around that fire knew exactly what it used to hold. So look at the whole shape of it. 2 million years ago, leopards were dragging our children up into the trees. 3 million years ago, eagles were taking them out of the sky. For almost the entire stretch of time that anything like us has existed, the dark wasn't a metaphor or a phase you grow out of. It was the single most dangerous part of being alive. And we made it through in the only way evolution allows, by being afraid, by sleeping in shifts, by huddling around a flame and refusing to step past its edge. Every ancestor in your line, back millions of years, made it to morning. Not one of them was caught in the dark before they had children. The fearless ones simply aren't in your family tree. So the next time you walk into a black room and feel that little jolt before your fingers find the switch, that flash of certainty that something is there, don't be embarrassed by it. That feeling is older than your language. It's older than your species. It is, in the most literal way, the reason you're here at all. That's not weakness in the dark. That's you, still surviving it.